Hello and welcome. The session has been recorded and we will be sharing the recording by email with everyone registered. And just a quick reminder here that you can use the buttons at the bottom. You can use also the chat box here, raise your hand, and we will have time for a Q&A later after the presentation portion. And as all of our presentations here at Railroads University, we like to begin by acknowledging that we are located in the traditional lands of the Kusepsun and Lakpongan families, and it has been a long tradition of teaching and learning on these lands. We are here now with Dr. Zoe MacLeod, Associate Vice President of the Professional Continuing Studies, and Calvin Roberts, Director of Workforce Development and Lifelong Learning, to explore this exciting program. Thank you for being here, Zoe and Cal. We are also here with some folks that you can't see on video, but will be on our chat box. So a big thank you for Lisa Murray from the Enrollment Services for being here and helping answer any questions that may come from today's session. We're here to present how to level up with a grad certificate. And I'm Francisco Levi. I'm an education specialist, and I'm going to guide you through this first part. Now we're going to check the agenda briefly. But before that, I would like to know a little bit about who you are. So please, you can use the chat box and let us know where are you joining us from. By the way, I am here in the office, joining from beautiful Victoria, British Columbia. Or you can also mention in the chat box what sector are you currently working in and what are you hoping to learn in today's session. That will help get a sense of what information can you provide to you, make sure that this session was helpful for you today. All right, so while the introduction starts coming in, I will explore how our day is going to look like. Then we're going to move into a brief exploration of the Railroads University experience. Then we will move into a program overview and cap off with the application process and requirements walked through. And of course, we will leave time at the end of today's session, as I mentioned before, for any questions that have come up, but please feel free to pop questions in the chat box as they come up for you. And we are more than happy to engage as they come. Let me continue admitting people here that are still joining us today. And I would like to start with what we value here at Railroads University. We see life as a qualifications. Our doors were opened with the purpose of doing things differently, and they remain open like that. You will find here professors who know your name and encourage communication. And equally important, our learning is based on life. Our students are the ones that bring real challenges from the workplace into the classrooms. You will make connections here for life, and you will see we were built differently with so many reasons, including our online learning component from the very beginning. Also, I would like to mention that we are in a Ashoka campus. Change making extends throughout our culture of mentorship and collaboration to create opportunities for students, not only to learn, but also to contribute with purpose and impact. So I would like now to jump into our place and show you a little bit of what we have here on campus. Here you can see some photos of the iconic Learning and Innovation Center, the Recreation Center, Hatley Castle on the left-hand side, Charlie's Trails, the Japanese Gardens, so near to Esquimalt Lagoon, located in front of our castle. We are so lucky to have this beautiful physical space here. But besides this, we have actually been moving in online learning for over 25 years as well. So with that, I'll pass the microphone to Zoe and Carl to tell us more about this program.
Thank you so much, Francisco, and thank you everyone for your interest in our graduate certificate programs. As Francisco mentioned, my name is Zoe MacLeod, and I'm the Associate Vice President for Professional and Continuing Studies here at Rhodes University. Our portfolio is quite broad, so we do everything from short one-day, maybe currently virtual courses, to 4-week online professional advancement offerings, to 6-month graduate level certificate programs, and almost everything in between, including micro-credentials, professional certificates, community programming, customized programs for organizations, and more. We wanted to offer this webinar as there are so many opportunities and so many programs to enhance your learning, your leadership, your competence, and your skills at Royal Roads University. Just gonna skip to the next slide here. I realize I have control. Let's go back here. We wanted to think about what kind of programs are required for you today. And as career paths are being altered, certainly by the pandemic and new and interesting labor market disruptions, that might be why you're here today, there is an increasing need for lifelong learning, for upskilling, reskilling, taking a new career path. And it really is vital for all of us to continue learning, and those of us in the workforce to navigate change, and for those who are entering or re-entering to be ready with the skills and knowledge to be successful. Graduate certificate programs have many linkages to professional accreditation, competence building, possibility of increased salaries. Many of the programs are stackable credentials in the sense that you can stack them to complete a degree, or pathways to degree programs. They may help you shift into other industries and much more. As mentioned, many of the programs are associated with a professional association, such as the examples listed on this slide. And we have purposely designed programs so that you can gain competence and confidence in specific areas, maybe niche areas for you. And when you leave Royal Roads, you have the opportunity to continue learning in that field along with your professional colleagues in the association. Many of our programs provide education hours towards accreditation, designations, credentials, whatever the specific association is awarding. And all of our programs can provide transfer credit into degrees at Royal Roads. So we're going to provide a very high level overview of each of the programs highlighted here today, and ask you to reach out after the webinar if you have specific questions, or ask them in the chat and we'll attempt to catch them at the end. Royal Roads has more graduate certificate programs than what this list shows, so if you have specific interests, please don't hesitate to reach out. So today we're going to focus on the suite of offerings in the professional and continuing studies portfolio, as they are really intended to provide relevant learning and competencies for tomorrow's workforce. For the most part, our programs are roughly about 6 to 7 months in length, currently delivered in a variety of modalities, some blended and some totally online. And with that in mind, I'm going to invite Cal Roberts, our Director of Workforce Development and Lifelong Learning, to share some highlights of a few programs with you, and then he'll pass it back to me.
Great, thank you, Zoe. I'm happy to be here. And I should also mention that I am a double alumna of Royal Roads University. My undergraduate is in applied communications from here, and my master's is in learning and technology from Royal Roads. And so I've kept coming back here because of the learning experiences that I've received here and how it's benefited my career. So if any of you post-call want to reach out to me and have a conversation about what that looks like, I'm happy to post my information. Lisa is here too, who's also available to have conversations. So let's get started. The Graduate Certificate in Project Management is a program that's been at the university for over 20 years now. It's the field of project management is a formal discipline. It's grown rapidly in importance in organizations worldwide. It is a transferable skill set, so it does allow you to manage projects depending on the field or industry that you're choosing to be in now, or that you're choosing to go into in the future. Project managers are expected to be able to develop strategies and coordinate carefully designed action plans. They must deliver projects on time and within budget, often incorporating complex, dynamic, and changing requirements. There's also a growing need now for project management to meet or exceed stakeholder expectations in relation to project outcomes. Stakeholder relationship management is also a key component of project management these days, and so that part of the program is also embedded. Expert project managers must prove use proven best practice techniques and strategies to achieve outstanding results. And in this program specifically, we do explore the fundamental concepts of project management developed by the Project Management Institute, which is included in the project body of knowledge. And for those of you that don't know, the project management body of knowledge, affectionately known as the PMBOK, is the kind of globally recognized standard for how to manage projects. And it's a global recognized book. I have many iterations of it on my desk, and one of them is holding up my laptop right now. We also focus on leadership and what it takes to lead projects and organizations, including communication, collaboration, negotiation, and influence. We also integrated in the recent past agile methodologies as well to align with those kind of market demands. So you can be assured that the program itself and the content is curriculum and continually updated. And most recently, we transitioned from an RAP status of registered educational provider status to their new authorized training provider status. So we have the ability to remain up to date and current. From there, I'd like to talk a little bit about a very related program to the Graduate Certificate in Project Management, the Graduate Certificate in Change Management. And again, in keeping with the alignment with professional certifications and accreditations, Royal Roads is a qualified educational provider for the Association of Change Management Professionals, and again, another globally recognized association recognizing change management skills and expertise. We align with the standard for change, with the standard for change management, which is their book is actually called The Standard, and so we align our curriculum content with that. There's a pretty rigorous assessment process for our curriculum, so that we can be sure that we're up to date and provide you with the most current information that they set out. In the program itself, we focus on change management from a whole systems perspective and examine the processes and methodologies used to developing successful change management initiatives. Students will explore capacity building and strategic alignment tools that drive measurable objectives within the context of change management, and then also explore its influence and impact on organizational culture. Again, being the connection to the project management side of things, there's time, scope, and money and kind of the tangible components of project management. Change management is more focused on the people side and the impacts of that and how to mitigate those risks and challenges associated with the impact of a project on people within an organization. So we kind of take a holistic approach to that and view that and look at the connections. And it's I would say it's a pretty updated program at the moment. There's lots of change management initiatives going on out there in the world, and people are recognizing that the people side of project management and change management is a critical piece of any organizational change. What we also explore how we approach to organizational life and moving forward from a pandemic, and what are the skills required for practitioners and leaders who understand the complexities of change in a very unpredictable and constantly changing world, more so, of course, given the recent years in the pandemic and how we recover from that and how we move forward into the new possible. And change management is one of those kind of in-demand skill sets. And in one of the surveys that I can share with you, it's one of the top 15 in-demand skill sets post-pandemic in a recent study. So I can share that with you to talk about those skills. And then finally, for my section, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Graduate Certificate in Management Leadership. I know in the chat, a couple of questions have already been set up, or people are interested in the Graduate Certificate in Leadership and Management. So this is an amazing opportune time to be exploring leadership and management from an organizational perspective. Throughout the program, we'll be looking at what the future of leadership looks like. We also look a little bit at the past to focus on what is needed right now and into the future. What do you need in order to step into leadership is kind of a key question that we're asking in that program. Who do you need to be from a high level perspective? We're going to be looking at how the world of organizations are shifting, obviously with the pandemic, but also remote work, remote learning, how people work, the future of work, all of these things. Artificial intelligence is a big component too. So lots of conversations about what leadership means at the moment. And so we try to explore that in the program itself. Now, you'll also learn how to lead teams and systems in new and different ways. Leading virtual teams is a whole new meaning right now, as we're convening here on a Zoom conversation, and many of you are actually taking part in Zoom meetings for your jobs as well. I will want to bring in your own context so that your learning is relevant for you. So that means that you'll be having opportunities to talk about your own preferred leadership styles, connect with your peers in the program, and have pretty good discussions around what that means going forward. This program will also use a real life case study or leadership challenge, and you'll have the opportunity to work together on teams and make recommendations in real time, which is a really highlight of a residency component for us, which is a virtual residency, a real organization coming in that you'll get to work with and present solutions to in real time. It's really a key part of the residency. And many people say that the experience in the residency is a key component of this leadership challenge. And then finally, I'd like to talk a little bit about a new program, which will be launching relatively soon, as soon as I can get it up on the website. Hopefully post this webinar or shortly thereafter, is a graduate certificate in Indigenous economic development. It is a new program. The original offering was developed with collaboratively in partnership with Haisla Nation, BC, which is obviously northwest of British Columbia. And so the pilot offering was developed with them to ensure that we met what was required. The program is intended for, but not exclusive to, rising managers from First Nation enterprises and governments and non-Indigenous students engaged in the aspects of economic development for Indigenous communities and those seeking to gain further education in economic development with and for Indigenous communities. This program is 9 credits long and will be recognized because you'll be able to use the credits to transfer into master's programs at this university, including the MBA, including the Master of Interdisciplinary Studies and the Master of Arts in Executive Leadership and other program areas. Again, all of these programs have options associated with them. There's probably too many to mention in this webinar, but which is why I'm thankful that Lisa is here and that we're all here to ask questions, because really this is about you and these are about your programs and how you want to learn and what you choose to learn. And so please connect with us after this session if you have other questions about what programs are available to you and how they work. And from there, I'd like to pass it back to Dr. MacLeod to talk a little bit more about our other programs.
Thanks so much, Cal. Lots more programs for us, a couple more to highlight here. The Graduate Certificate in Workplace Innovation is a program that we've been running for a number of years now. And if we've learned anything from the past few years, it's the need for organizations to be innovative, creative, and entrepreneurial. We've seen organizations and sectors completely reinvent themselves in the past 3 years. And this program focuses first on you. Who you are and how to level up your confidence and competence in order to position innovation at the forefront of your organization. We're going to focus on your own skills, what tools and processes are required to lead innovation, and then transition to focus on organizational culture and strategy. And clearly, if you're working in an organization right now, you'll know that culture is key to promoting and implementing innovative solutions in the organization. And really this program, I would say, is for those working at a mid to senior level of an organization and trying to shift the organization forward. We've also interestingly delivered this program for cohorts of senior government officials in Eastern Canada with great success. The next one is our Graduate Certificate in Corporate Social Innovation, which similarly themed is really aiming to equip professionals with expertise in social innovation at an individual, team, and organizational level. So we're going to take a human-centered approach to learning about creative strategies and activities of social and institutional entrepreneurship, maybe intrapreneurs for those of you in the know, activists, organizations, and social movements. Throughout the program, you're going to be exploring individuals and groups who have catalyzed important positive social change through different organizational platforms in the market, in government, within the nonprofit sector, and increasingly in the space between these three, and develop practical change-making skills, including empathy, teamwork, and leadership, and really the focus on foundations for driving social and environmental change. There's a lot of work to do in this space. We're going to see, how we can shift some of our core business objectives. We're going to look at measuring, evaluation, and reporting on social impact, as well as scaling for effective impact locally and globally. I just sat through presentations for this program and was just heartened to see the work that's happening and the innovative ideas that people are driving inside their organizations. Again, on a similar vein, the Graduate Certificate in Financing Social Impact is a brand new program really focused on co-creating innovative approaches to advancing progress towards the UN Sustainable Development Goals. So in this program, you're likely coming to it because you're addressing complex social and or environmental challenges with limited resources. You might be interested in leveraging new sources of capital to achieve positive change at scale. There's many promising developments in social finance and sustainable investing in Canada and globally, and there are still significant barriers to scaling. So, both of the demand for and supply of capital to match the magnitude of environmental and social changes facing business and society is tricky. And this program is going to invite practitioners from across the private, public, and nonprofit sectors to work together to build those solutions, to addressing those barriers, and to learning more strategic ways of financing projects and organizations that have the potential to generate positive social and environmental impact at scale. The Graduate Certificate in Organization Design and Development is a program that we've also been running for a few years. We put it on hiatus during the pandemic because it had a couple of in-person residencies, and it was just a bit tricky to shift those to virtual delivery. But we're bringing it back this fall, and the aim of the program really is to look at graduate level applied, relevant, and theoretical expertise for conducting analysis, decision-making, and evaluation that is really required in designing organizations for the future. Again, another place where we see lots of change happening. We're going to explore OD principles and practices. We're going to look at culture and change interventions. We're going to look at new frameworks, building frameworks, creating new frameworks, that will help us make the necessary connections to organizational strategy. And in this program, we do focus a lot on design, organization design, development, strategy, change, systems, culture transformation, and then really reflecting back and looking at how we can build capacity and measure and evaluate the changes that we're making in our interventions. And finally, for today, I'll talk about executive coaching. This program in particular is one of our flagship programs. It's one of our most subscribed programs, and we recently celebrated over 20 years of delivery. This program in particular is aligned with the International Coaching Federation competencies and is an accredited coach training program, soon to be a level 2 accreditation through ICF. So for those of you who don't know what executive coaching is, we do here explore and learn how to master the skills and competencies required to become an executive coach. And from a high level perspective, we're really looking at how the world of organizations are shifting and what it takes to help people create and foster coaching cultures within their organizations, but also just helping people think through some of the wicked and complex challenges that are facing us today, and giving them the time and space to recognize that they might actually have the answers themselves to move forward, really helping them realize their own potential. And interestingly enough about this program, after the completion of the program, many of our alumni came back to us and said, we want more, we wanted to continue our learning. So we've created an advanced certificate that you can take after the program, 3 courses, or you can actually continue on into our new Master of Arts in Executive and Organizational Coaching program. All details we can share if you're interested to learn more about how you can stack some of these courses and programs into a degree. So that's feels like a lot of talking in a short bit of time. Thanks for your patience, everyone. I should also mention that we have new programs in the works. Don't forget to check back. If there's something you think we should be creating because you're out there and you see a gap, don't hesitate to offer suggestions. If you aren't sure that you're ready for a graduate certificate, we also offer smaller bites of learning, and many of these programs you can just take 1 course, or you can take a couple of the courses and then move into the graduate certificate if you're interested. So you can learn more on our website at pcs.rollroads.ca, but in the meantime, I'm going to hand it back to Francisco, who's going to take us through some next steps, and then we'll get back to open it up for Q&A. Thanks, Francisco.
Thanks so much, Zoe and Carl. Such interesting programs. And now we're going to talk about how to apply. And I'll dive into the application overviews now. But if anyone has questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat box as we're moving forward here. and we would like to start by letting you know what the admissions requirements are. Here at Royal Roads University, we have two admissions pathways, standard admissions, as well as our flexible admissions. So standard admissions require us the completion of either an undergraduate 4-year or comparable degree, or a graduate degree in the related field, and at least some years of relevant full-time work experience, with experience at management level, depending on the certificate you're taking. And now flexible admissions can also be conceptualized as the professional pathway. So for those learners who may not have a traditional academic background, but have been working in the field for a set period of time and have acquired that lived experience that is so relevant and appreciated in our classrooms, we normally require at least 4 years of exclusive full-time work experience and some post-secondary education. We do assess our flexible admissions on a case-by-case basis. So if you're interested in learning more about what flexible admissions could mean for you, please connect with our offices, as we are more than happy to explore that with you. Now, moving forward, the application, we have a quick snapshot of the application process. It begins with an online application, which includes a fee of $131.39. And once that's in, we then look for some supporting documents. So as you can see here, we look for official transcripts, personal statements, a detailed resume, as well as 2 letters of reference. And if you go to our website, let me tell you, we have some guiding questions as to what you should look answering in that document. For the detailed resume as well, we have some information as to how that can be structured. And for the official transcripts and the letters of reference, we have some guidance about how those documents can be submitted too. Thanks, Lisa, for sharing the information on the chat book with us. I'm going to jump now to upcoming intakes. We are just around the corner for some of the certificates. So let me check some dates in the next slide. And here we have our programs, change management, starting on September 5, and putting this application deadline on June 5. Then we have corporate social innovation starting on October 16, putting this application deadline on July 16. Executive coaching, you can take a screenshot, and we're also going to share the recording with all the dates and of course this information. Executive coaching is starting on August 28, and application deadline on May 28, and management and leadership starting on January 22nd, and for this application deadline on October 22nd. And also organization design and development starting on September 11, putting this application deadline on June 11. Project management starting on August 19, and putting this application deadline on September 19. And workplace innovation starting on October 16, putting this application deadline on July 16. And we have, of course, more programs, and I encourage you to check our website. And we are sharing the links here with you as well. And finally, I would like to talk a little bit about financial aid. Our financial aid and our specialists have resources available to you both internally and externally. So if you like to learn more about loans, awards, scholarships, or other types of funding, please connect with our financial aid and awards specialists. Here are all the details you need, our website, our local phone as well. And so application support, don't forget our enrollment advisors that are here with us also today are available to help you and answer your questions, including in-depth program details, application process walkthrough, more information about standard and flexible admissions, transfer agreements, and more. So please take the next step here on this slide, we have enrollment services contact email and phone numbers, as well as they're sharing in the chat box with us. They are very excited to hear from all of you. And with that, we have come to the end of the presentation portion of our webinar today. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today.